about where the current market is and where we're going for 2010. So stay tuned, because I think Connie's going to be awesome. The crowd is excited, and there's tons of realtors wanting to see what she's going to say to the nation on mp4republican.tv.
On protecting ourselves and helping others have a decent life, and global economic growth with the private sector at its heart, and inviting and keeping a spirit for the best to come here and be among us, and also for those who are born in the most difficult circumstances to succeed. The United States of America is going to be all right. And you know, I know that because I know that there's one other thing about the United States. Americans are the most optimistic people in the world. And I can tell you that because I've been out there, and when people say to me, no, Americans are just naive, I say, no, I'd rather be naive than cynical. Cynical nation cannot lead. And the reason the United States has always led is that we have an optimism about the future. And we earned that optimism. We earned it when we think about the fact that the United States of America itself should probably never have come into being. 13 audacious states along the eastern seaboard that took on the greatest military power of the time with a third of George Washington's troops down to smallpox and won. A young country that was built with people who were willing to cross the continental divide. Have you ever been across the continental divide? In covered wagons. A people who, though her ancestors were 3/5 of a man in the Constitution, since slaves were, and though her parents could not be guaranteed the right to vote until 1965 in Birmingham, Alabama, that a little girl growing up in Birmingham, Alabama would still be convinced that she could be President of the United States, and ended up as Secretary of State. Great optimism of America. And in tough times like these, it is awfully important to stay focused on what is important and to remain optimistic. Whenever you're feeling not so optimistic or a little down, it's really a good thing to remind yourself of the things that seemed impossible one day and later on just seemed inevitable. You know, we just finished the 20th anniversary of the fall of the Berlin Wall. Now, if anybody had said that that was going to happen 40 years before, no one would have believed it. Because you know, in 1946, the Italian communists won 48% of the vote, and the French communists 46% of the vote. In 1947, there was civil war in Greece and civil conflict in Turkey. 2 million Europeans were starving. In 1948, the Berlin crisis broke out. Czechoslovakia fell to a communist coup. In 1949, the Soviet Union exploded a nuclear weapon 5 years ahead of schedule. The Chinese communists won. And in 1950, the Korean War broke out. Now, if you had said, oh, by the way, on November 9th, 1989, the Berlin Wall is going to come down, and Europe will be whole and free, completely on Western terms. And oh, by the way, on December 25th, 1991, the hammer and sickle will come down from above the Kremlin for the last time. The Soviet Union will not fire a shot, but it will be no more. Communism will be dead in Europe. The West will triumph. If you'd said that in 1946 or 1956 or 1958, they would have had you committed. Never forget that things that seem at the time impossible later seem inevitable. And you know, if the United States manages to do these things and to regain its optimism, the rest of the world will be all right too. Because the United States of America is special. We are not just any other country. Just any other country wouldn't have stormed the beaches of Normandy with 18-year-old men to save the freedom of people they didn't even know. not have stood watch in Europe and Asia for 50 years so that democracy could reign there, and just any other country would not have men and women volunteering in Baghdad and Basra, Kandahar and Kabul to defend our freedom and to make lives better for the rest of the world. So never forget that the United States of America is special. And never forget, too, that the world is very fortunate, that the freest, the most compassionate, and the most generous country on the face of the earth is also the most powerful. Thank you very much.
You know what? As family, we talk about the Oval Office and the power of the White House. It is so great that Ms. Rice was here. I hope that you enjoyed today's show because it was a great one to hear about this country and the change. It does not matter if you're a Republican or a Democrat. All that you need to realize that hiphoprepublican.tv, we're open to hear your opinions and your ideas. Thanks for watching and keep watching more.